Running an entertainment/robotics company, you get a lot of suggestions. Okay, a lot of bad suggestions. Now, I think this is for a number of reasons. One, giant robots are just so cool, you can't help but let your ideas go crazy, and that's part of the magic of MegaBots. But I also think a small part of it is just not understanding how much money stuff makes and how much money stuff costs. A few days ago, I asked people on the MegaBots Instagram account the following question.
How much money do you think MegaBots has made on its YouTube channel for all time? Answer right here.
The answers were sort of all over the place, from zero to millions of dollars. In a broader picture, I think people just don't talk about money enough. I grew up in a household where talking about money was very taboo, and I just don't see a reason to not discuss something that has such a huge impact on your life. It's by far the #1 cause of stress, but for some reason, personal finance is not really taught in school. I have no idea why. Anyways, since you're all here and not in school, let's talk about money. So here's how much money we actually earned. Over our channel's lifetime, we've gotten around 26 million views and have made almost $11,000. So if you think about it, this only paid for about 0.4% of the cost to build Eagle Prime. Now I want to break this down a little bit so you can take away some understanding of how YouTube works. First, let's talk about views and CPM, or how many sets of eyeballs can you get on a piece of content, and what are those eyeballs worth? So views first. Most of our videos basically get about 50% of the views they will ever get in the first 2 to 3 weeks they're posted, and then they just kind of level off, and maybe they'll double in view count by the end of the first year, but for the most part, whatever you get in those first 2 weeks is kind of what you'll get in terms of order of magnitude. How many views you'll get is barely correlated to your number of subscribers and pretty hard to predict. I'll talk more about this later, but generally it's better to have more subscribers. CPM, or cost per mil, is the other important factor. In this context, it basically means how much money you make per 1,000 views. And what most people don't understand is this can vary wildly depending on the content of the video and many other factors. Most of our videos with significant number of views have a CPM of anywhere from $2 to $8. Now, YouTube's analytics are honestly pretty great, but not always that actionable. For example, I can see that this video, Giant Robot on eBay starting at $1, did really well. It had a pretty high CPM of about $7.50, but why is this the case? I'm not really sure, and that's something I see a lot of YouTubers be confused about. Sometimes certain videos just take off and make more money than others, and no one really knows why. I could make the guess that because I was talking about eBay and money, maybe the YouTube algorithm saw it as a spot to place higher paying e-commerce niche ads or something, but I don't really have any way of knowing. I would also guess that because it was a longer video with an ad break inserted halfway through, it monetized pretty well for YouTube, and therefore they promoted it to more people. And that's a subtle but important concept. This is something we got way wrong at the start. Early on, we assumed that if our videos had ads, it would discourage people from watching, so we didn't enable monetization. This was a big mistake because the opposite is actually true. If YouTube as a business wants to maximize revenue, what do you think they want to show more of? A video without ads or a video with ads? Probably the one with ads. We didn't turn on monetization until around December 2016, and by then had already racked up around 10 million views. I do wonder how many views we would have had if we had monetized earlier, causing YouTube to have a stronger incentive to show our content. Now, there's another way for YouTube channels to make much more income, and that's through sponsored posts, which I think are most commonly done as ad reads. This is how they work. A company or agency will reach out to me and say, "Hi, I have this online service or product that I want to build awareness for. Seems like your fans would be a good demographic for it. Will you talk about my product or service for 45 to 90 seconds on your channel in exchange for money?" And I respond with, "Yes, I will do this. Here is my rate of 20 CPM. My last 6 videos got 100K views, and so I expect this one to make about the same. So after 2 weeks, we'll take a look at the view count, and you will pay me $20 for every 1,000 views it has, up to a limit of 100K views. If the video, for some reason, goes super viral, don't worry, your spend will be capped at $2,000 and you'll just get a great deal. These are generally better deals for advertisers as they're getting me to actually use and endorse the product, and they're a better deal for me because now, in addition to the around 4-ish CPM I get from the YouTube ads, I also get 20 CPM paid to me directly from the advertiser, and YouTube doesn't get a cut on that. The downside is I have to spend a bunch of time negotiating with the advertiser, shooting and editing that extra content, and also running it by them before I post to make sure the language is okay. Ad reads are a great way for YouTube channels to actually make a livable wage, and I'll probably do more of them in the future. We never really did this in the early days of MegaBots, and I wish I had learned about it earlier, but I don't think they would have been enough to sustainably build multi-million-dollar robots with the view counts we were getting. Also, I want to mention, I don't want to be promoting products or services that I don't actually believe in, because it would destroy the trust that you guys have put in me and this channel. So a lot of things have to fall into place to make these ad reads work. So far I've only done one, and I made somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 from it. I can't really say the exact terms of that deal because they're confidential, but assume it's pretty similar to what I previously described. Now I want to mention Facebook too, because our audience is just as big there as it is on YouTube. We post all the same videos on both platforms. In fact, you might be watching this video on Facebook. Facebook is definitely competing with YouTube in the online video space, and to me, this is the most apparent in their Creator Studio backend, which seems to have a lot of the same monetization analytics as YouTube Studio. Now, I only very recently enabled monetization for our content on Facebook, about 30 days ago, so I don't have a lot of data here. But one interesting thing to note is that even though I'm posting all of the same videos on both YouTube and Facebook, some videos tend to do really well on YouTube, while other videos tend to do really well on Facebook. I still don't really have a good feel for this yet, but out of the last couple of videos discussing the sale of Eagle Prime, the giant robot on eBay starting at $1 video did really well on YouTube, but didn't really do that well on Facebook. And instead, the Who is Buying Eagle Prime video did really well on Facebook, but not on YouTube. Again, I don't really have any feel for this, but I suspect that shorter 3 to 4 minute videos do better on Facebook, whereas longer 10-minute videos maybe do better on YouTube, maybe. I should also mention we also have our content on Instagram or IGTV, and as of January 2020, there's no automated monetization options there at all, so there's really not much to report there. Okay, back to YouTube, and one thing that has been a monkey on my back for years. The giant robot duel is our most watched video, followed by the USA versus Japan challenge video, and then everything falls off super quickly. What's super frustrating about this is that most people are discovering this channel through a sort of bad first impression. The robots just seem a little slow and clumsy if you don't know the whole backstory, that these are just prototypes and that we were trying to create this sports league, but we didn't really know what robot fighting is supposed to look like, so it was just kind of our first stab at it. Yet no matter what kind of new content I make, the number of views it gets pales in comparison to the number of people that are discovering the giant robot duel video. Look at the source of the subscribers. Even in the last few months, the majority of our subscribers are coming from the giant robot duel video. I've thought about taking down the duel video or re-editing it, but I keep coming back to the same conclusion. It's better that people are watching some MegaBots content, even if it's not a great first impression, rather than not seeing MegaBots content at all. I've got to admit, it's been really tough to come to the realization that no matter what I upload, it's not enough to significantly control the narrative. A ton of people watch it and then go, "This felt super scripted and you should have just let them fight with the cameras rolling." And even though we did hear those complaints and did a cameras rolling, live streamed, unscripted fight, I can't get those complainers' eyeballs in front of that video. It's just like peeing in the ocean trying to raise the sea level. No matter how hard you try, there are just larger forces at play. Yes, I can get a few thousand people here or there to watch it, but it's just completely overshadowed by the millions that are watching the two big videos. I don't know, it's been bothering me for so long, and if you have any ideas, feel free to post them down in the comments. Next, I want to do a video about the broader financials of MegaBots. Like, where did the millions of dollars actually go? How much money did we actually get to keep from the Kickstarter? There's so much stuff I want to say about what happened behind the scenes at the company that you guys didn't really know about, but it will take a few videos to unpack all that. I'm not sure how clickbaity I can make those videos, so I'm guessing it will be maybe only watched by those of you who are subscribed and have notifications on. After that, we'll get back to some fun science and destruction stuff. But just for my own sanity, I gotta upload some thoughts and do some storytelling so that I can feel like I have some closure. So you guys are gonna be my therapists for a little bit, and that will probably turn out very poorly because seeking therapy from a YouTube comments section sounds like probably the worst place in the world one could ever look for that. But that's where we're at right now. So subscribe and smash that like button, and we'll see you next time.